A President's Day takeover turns violent at a Bronx mall, and now other malls are ramping up their security.
Police say at least 18 people are in custody, and most of them are teenagers. John Diaz has this story.
That sound is glass breaking after someone is seen throwing an object into Munchie's Deli on Baychester Avenue. Just one of the chaotic moments that erupted in and around Bay Plaza Mall Monday afternoon.
They tried to break in. We closed the door and we tried to avoid that and we tried to call 911.
The manager, who didn't want to show his face, says the situation quickly spiraled out of control and fear set in.
There's over 300 kids.
Across the street, police say they believe this same large group of teenagers broke a window at the McDonald's. Area businesses say this gathering was no accident. The rowdy bunch came together after a planned takeover was being advertised across social media platforms. Police say they arrested 17 teenagers and one adult.
To organize and create chaos, that's just not okay. All I heard was screaming.
Now, there's still no clear reason why these kids.
So we got kids in the Bronx. Instead of them going to read, instead of them graduating with honors, instead of them not failing and flunking, they decide to organize, not like a tutoring to help each other, make sure they pass their classes. They organize a takeover to destroy property. Where are the parents? One more question. Where are the parents? We got kids out here organizing takeovers, and we have oblivious parents. This is the reason why I say this all the time. When the kids get arrested, the parents should get arrested, because there's no way that these parents, all these parents didn't know their kids was going to do this. They organized it on social media. Why do your kids have social media? Why? You guys give your kids all these phones and all this, but they get F's in classes. They fat, they big back, came run a mile under 8 minutes. They doing takeovers. They becoming young criminals. You wonder why the police be beating them up. This is how gentrification starts. Then you wonder why your crime rate's so high, and then people moving out, people buy it up, kick y'all out, raise your rents to $5,000, then y'all complain about the rents, y'all complain about Mom Donnie, but y'all kids is bad. Y'all complain about all these things, but you can't take care of your kids. This is why you need to go to jail when your kids do something stupid. I'm just tired of seeing just parents that just living in La La Land and they're just negligent. What did y'all do when y'all kids, 17 to 18 kids get arrested? What did those parents do? Did you do anything? Did you celebrate it? Did you talk to them? Did you discipline them? What did you do? Obviously, your kids aren't scared of you. This was nothing but a group of kids that are not scared of their parents. This is why I tell you, parents, your kids need to know what you're capable of. They got to see that one time when you just go crazy. What you see here is these kids don't fear their parents. What you see here is that these are the future criminals. These are the kids who will be in prison, or these young girls would be pregnant, have multiple baby daddies. That's the future you guys have. And you parents aren't doing anything to change it. You guys are letting them do it. That's the problem. You can't tell me they're not smart. They're smart enough to organize a Bronx Mall takeover, but they're not smart enough to pass classes. They're not smart enough to do tutoring. They're not smart enough to get into tech and learn how to build an app, but they're smart enough to create chaos. That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with the generations that we see, but it all comes down to the parents. The parents ain't parenting. The parents are just being oblivious. They're just saying, oh, my kid is so good. Oh, it's just a phase. Gets arrested, goes to jail, a juvenile court. They're in juvenile hall, serving time. Next thing you know, they get bullied in prison. Now they're holding somebody's pocket. They come out talking about they want to be a transgender because they got turned down in prison. All this happens because you failed to be a parent. You failed to pay attention. I'm sorry, and I always say this, 2026 is a time where parents need to be parents. There's no more, oh, it's just a phase. Because just a phase can have your kids in jail for life. What if they threw something that hurt somebody and somebody passed out and died? That's murder. That's manslaughter. Going to jail. That's why we got to be better. That's why you got to be on top of your kids. I'm sorry. Y'all got to start parenting. If you can't parent, if you can't afford to put your kid in a good situation, don't have kids.
Is decided to do this, but police are speculating it's due to the warmer weather and also no school.
You ever seen a piranha eating food? When one attacks, they all come in swarm. That's exactly what happened.
Stephen Estrella handles security at Five Below. He says he had to keep the doors locked to prevent damage as the group made repeated attempts to get inside.
They tried to get in here at least twice. It was like they was making rounds.
Concern spreading to nearby Yonkers Tuesday, where police and private security were seen monitoring activity at the Cross County Center in case of additional takeovers. Yonkers police even posting this warning on social media that they would arrest any wrongdoers. From the Baychester section of the Bronx, John Diaz, CBS News, New York.
You got to make sure that you become a parent and parent your kids. Because if not, your kids going to be doing this. They're going to be breaking stuff, running across, being idiots. This is why you got to be on top of your kids. Don't matter where you are, don't matter what city, what state, you got to be on top of your kids. Because what's going to happen? You're going to be blaming the NYPD, police department. You're going to be blaming your politicians instead of looking in the mirror and say, I wasn't a parent. That's what you guys got to start doing with these kids, because if you don't, you'll create chaos. These are the same kids that flunk school. These are the same kids that are going to protest for ICE. These are the same kids that go to prison, get turned out, and the next you know, now they holding somebody's pocket. Now they're going to go through transition surgery. These are the same kids that be on depression pills and all tore up and don't understand life. It's because you weren't being a parent. The biggest problem that we see from a lot of these kids acting crazy is the lack of parenting. And then, like I said, this is what happens to y'all neighborhoods. I talked about this on my show, right? This is what happens to y'all neighborhoods. The crime rate gets so high, your kids get so bad. So what they do is they bring the police through there, make sure it's straight again. All the McDonald's, all the restaurants are going to leave because they can't make no money because of crime. And then you boo-hooing. And then what somebody going to do, they're going to come and buy up the block, raise the rent prices, and kick all of y'all out. And then you're going to be mad talking about the government didn't save you. But it all comes down to you. The reason why your neighborhood is bad is because you didn't check your kids. You didn't make sure your kids were doing the right thing. You didn't make sure your kids were being productive. So now we got people coming here, buying up the block, kicking you out, gentrified, white folks walking around with dogs like it was always meant to be like this. And now you on the outskirts, poor, living in somewhere else that you didn't grow up in, and mad and thinking that's the government's fault. But really, at the end of the day, it's your fault. It all started with you. It all started with you opening your legs, having these kids, not giving them a sound foundation, letting them do whatever the hell they want to do, and then let them create chaos and with no consequences. A lot of the reason why we mess up today as a country, it all boils down to the parents. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. As always, keep this thing right, keep it going. I appreciate you guys. Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description below. Also, we got the No Filter Morning Show, 10:21 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tap in. Better tap in. Got gems in there. I appreciate you guys. I'm out.